Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Craig with me here in the studio, Frank as well in Paris. Frank, did I see you were on some sort of TV show in France this week? What was that?
Me?
Yes.
A TV show in France?
Yeah, there was like a group of you. I saw you waving at the camera. What was that?
Wasn't a police lineup, was it?
Right, brilliant. You put it on your Instagram. I haven't completely made it up. I saw it.
Was it Fabien Barthez?
Anyway, there we go.
Oh.
Maybe it was Fabien Barthez instead.
Whatever. You know what? One thing. I was in Strasbourg for the Christmas market.
Okay.
For 2 days, and I talked to many fans, Strasbourg fans. They're very, very much upset with the board of Chelsea because they're saying that they're doing the same as they do for Chelsea. They took out all the experienced players and they just brought some young players, and they do what they do for Chelsea, meaning they do trading, and that's the only thing they do. And the results of Strasbourg is not that good, so people are feeling betrayed, fans are feeling betrayed, and it's what we really feel at Chelsea. It's coming up in Strasbourg. That's unbelievable. The feeling that I had, what people told me, and those people at Chelsea really have to react if they don't want to sabotage two clubs in the same time.
How did we get from you on TV this week to
Frank was in Strasbourg. When you're in Strasbourg, do you still wear the World Cup kit or do you change into your Strasbourg kit, Frank?
No. It was very cold, so I was wearing a big coat. And I saw Mr. Patrick Vieira. He was the coach of Strasbourg. He's the coach of Strasbourg. And randomly we met in Strasbourg and we had a little chat. He loves the city. He's having a hard time. He's hoping that he's going to get better. But I was very happy to see him. No, I don't wear anything. You know, I'm like Son at Tottenham and how Jurgen described him. Humble, nice.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Frank.
polite.
We know you. We've known you a long time,
me.
Frank. Humble.
You spent less time on Instagram
Yes.
and more time prepping this show.
Right.
The world will be a better place. I mean, look at Xhaka last night.
What happened to Xhaka?
Sat at his desk taking notes, writing them down.
Yes.
You want to try that?
I should try that, shouldn't I? Are Spurs still Spursy, Craig?
I mean, I don't get what people want from Spurs.
Right, let me move it on to this next question, which I think a lot of people may share this opinion. Okay. United are constantly in crisis and everyone in the show is constantly gassing Ange. If this result holds, they're level on points and games played. Are you guys too in love?
For God's sake!
Are you too in love with
these
mediocre
people,
Spurs?
Why do we have some of the thickest viewers on the planet? Right? Why? We have to educate. Manchester United are one of the biggest spending clubs in world football, right? The expectations of United, the spend of United, the clout of United, the squad of United, everything is telling you they need to be better, they need to challenge. We can't keep comparing Man United with Spurs. If you're comparing Man United with Spurs, you've absolutely not got a Scooby-Doo about this game. I mean, if they were spending $1 billion on players, 100 million on one winger, 100 million on this winger, bringing in World Cup winners, bringing in the best coach in Holland, as he was supposed to be, Tottenham that is, then maybe we would ask a few more questions. And by the way, he's only been in the job 6 months, Ange Postecoglou. And we have got some of the really dumbest people that watch and communicate with this show. And I hope I've not upset the other view. Actually, I don't care.
That's the view of Craig Burley, not at ESPN FC.
I've seen all the questions over 10 years. We have a really bunch of not very bright people.
Little bit of what is a lovely bunch of people.
Not by the questions or not.
Some of most of the questions nice.
Our filtering department really does put the dumbest questions up. I mean, obviously, there's either a touch of sarcasm in the question, tongue-in-cheek, or my initial point stands, right?
Frank, would you like to add anything?
And
please don't have a go at the viewers.
And I'm not. Nobody's apologising. And I'm not apologising.
No, I think.
Sod off.
No, but I hear what Chris says, and I think all fans, they're completely blinded by the love of the team they are supporting. And I can even mention, some Chelsea fans when they try to find excuses, they try to see Chelsea as the top of the top right now, they don't want to see what is clear to the rest of the world and to the people who are like us. Mainly in the neutral point of view, we see what we see, and we enjoy watching Tottenham playing because they come back from the worst of the worst. And last year we were hammering the way they were playing. And today we see Manchester United, and I played against Manchester United. I played I think maybe the best Manchester United team they had in the history of Manchester United. And in '99, when you were playing against them, you felt, the power, the talent, the tactic, everything was there. And you compare there, and you compare what you see with the coach, with the board, with the players. There's no comparison, and it's why we are very hard on them, because I think they just deserve that, because it's what we see, and it's obvious what we see. And it's not but because we don't like Man United or we love more Tottenham than United. No, we don't love anybody. I love my wife, my kids. That's it.
Oh.
But football-wise, I don't love anybody. I don't care.
That's the top. That's the top of the list.
Number one. Sam, I think when this show used to be called Press Pass, and there was lots of different people on it, and we used to get, before the technology, we got viewer mail.
Right.
Remember?
Yes.
It seemed then there was at least a semblance of sensibility about the questions.
I don't know, Craig. I don't know why you're going back. How many years? 10 years.
15.
10 years.
Viewer mail. Do you remember the viewer mail?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Wasn't that a great way to do it?
What a great way. Well, this is similar, isn't it?
It's not. It's buffoonery.
Right, stop having a go at everyone. Right.
Why?
Because it's not nice.
Why change now? I'm not nice.
No, but you...
When I come on TV, my job's not to be nice, right? And when people send in silly questions, my job's not to be nice.
When you're on TV, just in life, you're not nice.
It's just me and the dogs tonight.
For Craig, why is Pochettino not under more pressure? He spent a fortune since coming in, but they looked utterly clueless against a United side who aren't exactly world beaters.
They did.
All the media talk of is Ten Hag being sacked, but Pochettino gets away scot-free.
Well, he's not getting away scot-free, and I'll go back to my answer to the initial question, is he's been there a lot less in terms of the time frame.
Yeah.
So that's some salvation for him at the moment. It wasn't a great salvation for Graham Potter, it has to be said, but it is some salvation for him that he is at least 12 months behind Ten Hag in his tenure as manager. United could have had 6, there's no doubt about that. What was
Could any manager fix Chelsea? I suppose that's where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, could
Postecoglou
I think they could be. I don't think fix it would be the right way to go about it, but I think there are managers that could have them in a better place than they are now, and that does bode the question on Pochettino. I think team selection. Cucurella at right back, Colwell again at left back. He's going to have to look at Thiago Silva at some point because the mistakes are creeping in as he gets older. He's going to be 40 in his next birthday. So I think there is an element of he is under pressure. I just don't think he's on the sack seat just yet. But who the hell knows with this ownership?
The sack seat. Is that a thing?
The sack seat.
The sack seat?
It is tonight.
I've never heard of that before.
Oh, now you see, you learn something every day. The sack seat, and that could go very...
completely made the sack seat up.
That could go very wrong.
Not the hot seat, the sack seat.
The sack seat?
Yeah.
He's on the sack seat.
No one has ever said that.
I've said it.
Never.
I just don't do what everybody else does.
I've worked with you for many years and I've never heard you use the phrase sack seat.
But
you meant to say
yeah,
hot
but that's
seat.
me.
You meant to say hot seat.
I didn't. I said sack seat, and I come in with something new every day.
You thought, I can use sack seat today.
No, it just came in my head.
Oh, really? Because you couldn't think of hot seat.
Sack seat.
How bad were Chelsea yesterday, Frank?
Well, credit to Manchester United. I think Manchester United had a very good game. They did what they had to do, and the first time that for a long time I didn't see them playing like that. So you have to give credit, otherwise people are going to think we hate them. But really, Chelsea is Chelsea. It's a mid-table, and we are being very nice saying that. And that's no surprise. People are talking about why we don't want to hammer Pochettino. Well, we knew last season that it was kind of an unbearable problem that he will have to sort out. And it doesn't, because it's almost impossible. And I was talking about the trading business that Chelsea has chosen to go for. And you cannot think that you're going to win the Premier League and be good in Champions League or whatever with players who are completely inexperienced, even if you pay them 100 million each. That's not a squad. That's not a team. Chelsea is proving it. It's been proven by other clubs who decided to go for that kind of system. It doesn't work. You have to mix, and it doesn't work that way. And you can have Pochettino, you can have Ten Hag, you can have even Pep Guardiola. I don't know how he would cope with that situation. It's, for me, still unbearable.
One of the big problems for Pochettino going forward is there's no Champions League money this year. There's no European football this year, right? So there's a big pot, particularly from the Champions League. They don't look like they've got a chance of getting in there at this moment in time. So that's going to put pressure on, I think, from ownership, because he's going to fail. It looks as if he's going to fail in that front. But also the teams that are trying to get back in there are all playing in Europe. Man United, Newcastle, Villa are in the conference.
Yep.
And so Chelsea have the luxury, along with Tottenham, but they're at a different stage and have spent less money. But we're talking Chelsea here. They have no European distractions at all. None whatsoever. And all these teams with big injuries and lots of games and elite level, they're all vying for the top four. And if he's a country mile off, come, I don't know, March, whatever it is, the ownership might look and say, have we made a mistake again? Because Potter, it was too big for Graham Potter in our eyes. Where's Frank Lampard. And, Pochettino was the guy, supposedly, and so then where do they go from there? Do they then say, we're going to give him another season and we're going to go and spend again, or do they go in a different direction once more? Nobody knows. I mean, I read one Chelsea supporter today on social media, a guy who's been going for 30 years. He's just saying he's so disillusioned with the way the whole thing is going from on the field, but more worryingly, which way the ownership is taking the club. It's like it is almost a kind of scatterbrain, scattergun. You want me to come up with any other adjectives?
That's fine. Does Bowen deserve more of a chance with England?
Jarrod Bowen?
Yes.
I think he should be in with a shout for getting in some of the squads. I just think the position he plays in, they have, he's been playing as a false nine at West Ham now and again, but we know he's a player who plays on the wide, predominantly on the right, coming in his left foot. You're up against, Sterling's not on the squad, who's actually played up until the last couple of weeks, played well. You had Rashford before, who's obviously having a stinker at the moment, but he's been ahead of him. And then you've got Phil Foden ahead of him. You've got Jack Grealish. There's a lot of guys that are playing in the wide position or as a number 10 that can play in those areas. James Ward-Prowse, people talked about all these guys that don't get game time. So when you look at all the players that are in front of him, I think it's going to be really difficult for him to get near it.
Frank, who's the first signing that United should make when the takeover goes through? De Gea?
I don't know. For 3 signing for United when in a group takeover. I don't know.
It's not a takeover. It's not a takeover. We have to. I mean, all that's.
Okay.
I think more importantly, whenever the investment comes in, right?
Yes.
Partial investment at 1.5 billion.
Not a takeover, everyone.
We like clarification.
Well, you seem to like clarification, right?
I think it's more important who they get out, first and foremost.
Right.
Yeah.
Than who they get
That's
in.
what it is. That's what it is. Especially, see as a centre backs. See all the players that you have centre backs that you want to maybe get rid of. Varane, Maguire, Evans, you know. I think if you have to pick a good player at first, you have to... Yeah, go on.
Well, I'm just saying, like...
Why has Frank got a halo above his head?
Well, because... I don't know.
Got a halo, Frank, above
But like Maguire's first choice at the moment, isn't he? Rafael Varane can't get in the team ahead of him.
First he was the first choice by default. Now he's getting good, I have to say, and you have to be fair. But you cannot consider Maguire right now one of the top centre backs in the world. You cannot tell me that you cannot find a better centre back than Maguire. Varane is almost at the end of his career, he's getting injured. Evans is definitely at the end of his career. You have to put Shaw sometimes there. Lindelof has proven
what
that he's a good
what about
player,
the question,
but not
Frank?
top
Answer
one.
the question.
And we're
Not
talking
who we're
about
getting rid of.
United,
Who are we bringing? Who do you want to bring in?
Who can I bring in? I don't know. Top of the top. Give me some names. Give me some names. I don't have names right now. I don't have a list right now of centre backs. Give me a name.
This is good.
I think you need to bring in somebody to take some weight off Rasmus Højlund.
Okay.
Because Martial's a waste of space. I don't know if they'll be looking at somebody like Boniface at Leverkusen. But we're talking about the summer here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, January, maybe. Takeover's supposed to happen next week, isn't it?
We spent 7 or 8 minutes in the show, and you trying to coerce Jurgen Klinsmann into saying there was a real title race because Leverkusen could push Bayern Munich all the way. Right. Now you want them to take their main striker in January to Man United.
I'm just saying that there is still an opportunity in January to bring in strikers that maybe aren't in a title race. Osimhen, get him over.
Yeah, he's having not his
Napoli
best
having a bad season.
Yeah.
There you are. Sorted.
All right.
Perfect.
Easy, isn't it?
Awesome.
You should be an agent.
How conflicted do you suppose Don was in today's Everton-Newcastle fixture? He's been responding to people on social media I've seen who were critical of his commentary.
Oh, really?
Because he said that Newcastle
Don, I don't understand. I really don't understand with... Not Don, but I suppose he's part of it. I really don't understand the people that just sit there during a day, any given day, when they're at home or in an office or wherever they are, and just sit there and respond to people constantly. Right. It is the most ludicrously unnecessary part of life that you'll ever need, because
you've been tweeting more, though, I've noticed in the last few days. I'm a bit worried about that.
Golf season's finished.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Although I absolutely and very, very rarely I respond to anybody because I just don't have the energy and I can't be bothered.
Oh, fair enough.
I just throw a tweet out there and I leave it. So I don't get people arguing. But yeah, I don't know, Don, he's in terms of conflicted, because I know he's got a lot of passion for Everton. He was a Newcastle fan.
Why are you answering this so seriously?
Sunderland fans.
What are you doing?
Sunderland fans were giving him stick the other day as well.
Good.
Well, I don't know why he just didn't come out and say the other day when somebody was saying, you played for Sunderland. He was a Newcastle fan growing up. I don't know why he just doesn't say that to people and say, this is who the team I supported growing up.
Right.
I was born in Newcastle. If you don't like it, get stuff.
I'm surprised how
seriously
you took that answer. For Craig, my study group will spend the next week in St Andrews and Edinburgh. Got any recommendations?
No.
If we mention your name, would we receive special treatment?
Yeah, you probably got a brick over the head. Do not mention my name in Scotland, right? If you want to end up in the hospital with some sort of concussive injury,
no,
do not.
That's more Glasgow, though, isn't it, than Edinburgh?
Yeah, where are they going? St Andrews?
St Andrews.
St Andrews in Edinburgh, East Coast. A little bit different, the folks in the East Coast to the West Coast.
Are they a bit posher?
I think the West Coast is kind of seen where I'm from, Glasgow side. I'm from South, same as Stevie, a little bit more working class.
Right.
But certainly St Andrews, if you want to spend some time in St Andrews, a lovely city, obviously, if you can play golf, play golf. But I don't know much about the place. I've only been once or twice. Have you been to Edinburgh?
No, I haven't. I'd like to go to the comedy festival. I imagine that'd be good.
You're on this show every day.
Well, yes, exactly. So I need some light relief in my life.
Just take a tape of one of the segments of our shows.
Yes. Craig.
Yeah. Yes, Frank.
Craig, I've been to I've been to Loch Lomond. There is a beautiful hotel
nice.
there.
Yeah.
And I spent a couple of nights.
It's called Cameron House.
And that was exactly. And that's the site is absolutely beautiful. And you don't see many people. And I visited a whiskey factory.
What's the point?
Great.
What's that got to do with this question, Frank?
well, that's the point with they're going to go next week to St Andrews and Edinburgh. It's not that far from Edinburgh.
Actually,
I think.
Do you know what
it's
I
not
really
that far.
like? Do you know what I really like? Sid and his, and his study group to do was to mention my name and then come back on and
Yeah. Okay. So then, there you are.
3 weeks or a month.
You have some homework.
If you're, if you're still breathing after being mentioned, and see what the reaction was.
There you go.
Because it could be surprised. It might be surprisingly positive.
I think I've been to
So
Scotland
you
once.
are hated everywhere. In fact.
Yeah, very much
in
so.
Chelsea, in Scotland.
Yeah. in your
now
house.
in Manchester, somewhere.
Frank, it's great. And I tell you what, Frank, people that I wouldn't have it any other way.
In the studio.
I would not have it any other way.
Frank, as a former Marseille player, do you hate PSG? How bitter is that rivalry?
No, I don't. I almost signed for Paris Saint-Germain. I was 20 years old. I was born in Marseille, but from parents who were from Reims. And I really respect Marseille. I was the captain of Marseille, and I gave 100% when I was playing against Paris Saint-Germain. But I'm not a fan. I was a football player. I'm not a fan. I don't choose any club. I was supporting Saint-Etienne in the 70s, Bastia in the 80s, Marseille in the 90s, and after Paris Saint-Germain in the late 90s, because they were French clubs. And I of course love Chelsea because Chelsea brought me many things. And if I'm in that show, it's mostly because I have the chance to speak a little bit of English because of Chelsea and because I've been successful over there. So that's what it is. So I have a special bond, let's say, with Chelsea and also Strasbourg, because my kids were born there and I played for 5 years. But I have nothing against Paris Saint-Germain at all. But the rivalry is big. I mean, at the time I was playing, you couldn't wear a Paris Saint-Germain shirt in Marseille. I think you would have stayed alive like 5 minutes, I would say. I would have said, at the time. That was crazy. And on the other way, it was possible to wear a Marseille shirt in Paris. That's not really a problem. It's a bigger city. But Paris Saint-Germain is really hated in Marseille, that's for sure.
I hate PSG.
You hate everything.
And I never played for Marseille.
Fun
To be honest with you. Just wind me up. All those idiots they sign and it's circus and they're just pointless. It's a pointless exercise.
What if Ange took over at PSG? You'd love them.
Tell you what.
That'd be it.
Be in here watching them every week.
Should Chelsea be worried about Dyche's army? Everton Chelsea on Saturday. Or Sunday, sorry.
No. Is it at Goodison?
Yes.
Do we know? Yeah. I think they should be, yeah.
Do we know?
Do we know? No, I'd rephrase that. Do you know? Because I don't. I think they should be, yeah. I mean, particularly off the back of that United game and then off the back of Everton, the huge win for them against Newcastle. But not just the win, the way they played, the way they pressured them and the crowd getting behind them. And this Chelsea side are flaky.
Right.
Absolutely flaky. We saw them at Newcastle just capitulate, both on the field and from a discipline perspective. They were lucky against Brighton, no matter what anybody says, did not play well, got a man sent off, were horrible at Man United. His team selection was baffling. So yeah, I mean, that could pile the pressure back on. I'd fancy playing Chelsea at the moment if I was Everton, because if I'm Dyche in that dressing room, I'm saying, they're a bunch of big hitters who
you got to do the voice.
Well, can't do it. Get into them. You got to get your chin like that.
Thank you very much. That is it. Thank you, Frank. ESPN FC is back on your screens tomorrow as we look ahead to some
more stupid questions.
So stop having to go at the question asking people.
No.
MLS Cup preview tomorrow.